3, 2, 1, and we are live. What's up, cannabis connoisseurs, and happy 420. You are watching Backdoor Marketing with Jessica, and I'm your host, Jessica. All right, today we have Lisa from High and Mighty. Guys, I cannot be more excited about this brand right now. I have been using this brand for the last few weeks, particularly for a couple of reasons. Basically, I've had a knee injury. I was covered in bug bites. I had a number of things happening in my life, right? And along with a couple of other products that I've been trying, I have seriously dove headfirst into High and Mighty products, especially their balms. Their pre-rolls are amazing. So I actually personally invited Lisa to join me today on 420 to talk a little bit about her brand and her background, but not only that, the stigma that she's lifting off of cannabis and women, and basically the stigma that the society puts on mothers and women in the cannabis space. So with no further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and invite Lisa to join the live. I see she's sending a request right now. So 3, 2, 1, and going live with Lisa. Viewing the request, going live. Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing, beautiful?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm trying a new thing today.
I can't see you. You can see me?
Oh, I can see you perfectly. I think that our viewers can see you. If
Okay.
anybody, hey, James Russell, if you can confirm that you guys can see Lisa, that would be amazing. Or Blake Joseph too. And if any of you guys can confirm. But Lisa, thank you so much for joining me today. I absolutely am obsessed with your products, at least the ones that I have tried so far, which I cannot wait to see. Oh, perfect. Angelique says she could see you great. Okay, awesome. Thank you, guys.
I don't know why for some reason I can't see you, but I'm going to keep going because that's
Oh, perfect. Okay. Sometimes it takes a second, whatever. Anywho, let's get started. So Lisa, can you give a little bit about your background? Because you and I had a little pre-interview call. And for those out there in NUGL land, just to let you guys know, we do pre-interview calls to go through some, to get to know each other a little bit better before the interview. And I mean, what usually is like a 15-minute call, I could have talked to her for like hours. We had to cut it short and go, all right, guys, this is enough. But could have talked to her for ages. Extremely interesting person. So why don't you give me a little bit of background for our viewers on you, about your background, about how you got into this space in the first place, and how you got into cannabis. It's really interesting.
Sure. So let me introduce myself. Lisa Jacob Haddad. I am the founder and creator of High and Mighty Topicals and Consumables. I am also a licensed manufacturer and distributor in the city of Long Beach, which is where I had the pleasure of meeting you, Jessica. And yeah, so just to get started, I was born and raised on the south side of Chicago, in a working class town during the era of just say no. So I really had no experience with cannabis whatsoever growing up, especially growing up in a very strict Middle Eastern family. So it's just nothing I experienced. I moved to California about 20 years ago because I like to be physically active and I wanted to be in warm weather, pretty much the reason why I moved here. The landscape to me was just amazing. And so, yeah, so picked up and moved here actually 10 days after September 11th. So it's been
What changed your mind? Like moving here in itself, I know that moving to California in itself can kind of give people a broader perspective, and sometimes they start trying new things and stuff. But what was really the catalyst coming from a Middle Eastern family in the south side of Chicago, which is a conservative area in the first place, to coming to California? What was it that made the switch for you?
Yeah, so ironically, I was an educator in Illinois. I was a certified teacher K through 9, very conservative life. And September, looking back now in hindsight, I can realize how much the events of September 11th actually affected me. I moved out here 10 days after that. It was kind of this sense of urgency, and I feel like I've had that sense of urgency just, we're here once. This ain't no test drive, you know what I'm saying? Right. And I felt that urgency. And so I had no aspirations of California other than I had never really been, I had been here once. But I knew it was warm, and I just wanted to be outside. So with that said, I came here and I started selling candles on Venice Boardwalk for the first year that I worked here.
That's
Which
amazing.
was such a departure. I worked in the car, I was a teacher. First I was in the car industry and then worked as a teacher. And then I moved out here and I literally got a job on the boardwalk in Venice with the ocean as my view, selling candles for $10 for the first year of my life. And I have to tell you that it was a changing year. But with that said, Venice has a quality of, anything goes. And so definitely my first experiences with cannabis was there.
Right.
And, I was hesitant, but I very quickly realized how cannabis not only helped me. So going back, I have mild scoliosis, but it was enough that as I was growing up, I always had severe back problems, would be in and out of the emergency room every once in a while because I do something and pull my back.
Oh, wow.
So I noticed immediately that not only did it help my chronic pain in my back, I felt really good. And
Right.
yeah, it helped me mentally. And as a kid, I always experienced, I've always been, I like to think graced with a lot of energy, but that can turn into anxiety, so cannabis definitely helped me with that. And, moving forward, I had a child and continued using cannabis. I felt that cannabis helped me be a better present mother. I was, again, anyone can over consume anything, but
Right.
for me, I was always someone that used it in a way that then I felt it made me present. And I feel like in life, that's really what's given me just profound growth is presence. So, yeah, so having a little kid in a Catholic school, I was hiding it for a long time. I did not feel comfortable with consumption. And I'm someone that I like to learn. So
Yeah.
I always had a love of, again, I moved out here for the weather. So then I had a love of gardening and cooking. And as a mom at home with a young child, I had a lot of downtime. When he was, they'd go to bed at like 6 o'clock. So, yeah, and I have no family here. So I started off with just growing a couple plants and that quickly turned into a lot of plants and it changed my life. And, we were talking earlier and I think the real addiction was the cultivation.
Yeah.
That's what got me. I put my son to bed and I'd be in my grow room, enjoying some fine cannabis and really being in the moment with the girls. And
Right.
so
The gardening part of it, the gardening aspect hooked you in as a hobby.
it really did. It really did.
Yeah.
But because of because I really felt like such a better, more present person.
Right.
I couldn't get over the stigma of it, and that bothered me. Because even though I was consuming it, I didn't feel comfortable as a mother, and I didn't feel comfortable with that inauthentic kind of living. I really didn't. So I read. That's just in my personality. I just kept reading and reading and reading. So I got better at cultivating, grew many different strains. Then I had all this trim. We were talking about that earlier, and articles were starting to come up about cannabis. And so I started reading and YouTubing things about topicals and how they can affect, because at the same time, I really started to get into physical fitness. I also realized that as I was getting older and having back pain, that being physically fit was only going to help me. And there is no separation of the mind and body. And cannabis just reaffirmed that for me.
Right.
So I then began playing around in my kitchen with the trim that I had and manufacturing that into oil and then manufacturing that into my topicals that really I created over years. So my topical, High and Mighty, really entered the traditional market about 6 years ago. I've been around for a while. It started with my group of workout women, and but that's where it really blossomed, because it went from me using it to then other people asking about it, and I think then people saw me. I then inadvertently became this kind of resource for other women, other mothers who either were, wanted to consider cannabis, who maybe didn't really use it, or they used it, but they were in the closet about it. And listen, the cannabis culture itself, even if you're comfortable using it, if you're not comfortable with the culture, it's scary. So even back then, 10 years ago, to try to walk into a dispensary, it was like, they weren't going to do it, with little kids. So I became a resource for a lot of women. And
but you're also a walking billboard. Like you're such a great spokesperson for your product, because after multiple years, six years plus of using the product, using your own products, your own balms, your own creations, if it wasn't working for you, you wouldn't look the way you do right now, and you wouldn't still be using it. So for somebody who's been in the industry for a long time to be using their own product and to have the results that you have obviously had, I mean, it's no wonder people are going, what are you doing? What are you taking? Because you're the antithesis of, well, I should say, you're the antithesis of the stigma that people have in their heads about the lazy stoner, the inactive, binge eating, TV watching. People have the stigma of this, a cartoon version, a parody of a stoner, especially women, because I think men have been comfortable with the idea of cannabis for a long time. But for women, first of all, there's lots of people out there that very openly say, women who smoke are unattractive, and, women who smoke are this and are that, or da-da-da. And it's just not true. It's just, you know what I mean? Men have lifted that stigma long ago, and for women, it's still a scary subject. I would like to revisit your what you were saying about the stigma of women, but not only women, the stigma of mothers using it. And this is just something from an idea that I have. I'm not a mother, but I would think that especially cultivating the plant would in itself feel nurturing, and then taking care of your body as a mother would feel like self-care. But if you have a guilt about that, I could see where it could go the other way.
And that's where my research came in, because I like facts. That's just who I am. And so I just kept digging more and reading more and reading more and going, wait a minute, this is all bullshit, because I'm not that stigma. In fact, I felt like consumption put me in this better place. I was in a good mood. I would be in a great mood. So in a great mood, I'd be like, yeah, man, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get this done. I'm going to do that. That's how I am. And so, and with that said, what I realized was, as special and as unique as I'd like to think I am, as we all like to think we are, I realized, if I feel this way, if it's helping me like this, there are a lot of other people out there.
Yeah.
There are a lot of other people out there. And my research of, first of all, just of growing the plant. Yes, some of my best days were, I'd have the baby monitor in my grow room. Well, I was in there for hours. He's inside sleeping, and those were some of my most amazing moments. I felt like moments of growth. And so my goal then became, besides putting out my product, which, yes, you're right. If I didn't get such positive feedback, and I use my products every single day, and if I didn't get such positive feedback, I wouldn't have kept doing it. But what then started happening, and even became more important to me, was normalizing consumption and trying to represent what a cannabis consumer could look like.
Right.
Could look like a woman like me that you wouldn't expect, a mom,
and really, I mean, not to completely, stroke your ego, but it deserves stroking, to be honest with you. It's like, you are so fit, and I met you in person, and I was like, oh my God, you're really pretty.
Thank you for saying
but it's like, and as much as can be contributed to your genes and whatever else, you obviously take care of yourself, your skin and your hair and your body, you know what I mean? You obviously take care of yourself. And that is what a stoner could look like when using, and, you know, well, I should say when using with intention, instead of smoking to get effed up and then sort of laying around and, you know, consuming yourself in that feeling.
Exactly what you just said. And I can't tell you how many times, like, I'll hear, let's say, you know, I'll be talking to someone and they'll say something like, oh, that one time, you know, I got so stoned when I was either in high school or college. It's like, please do not, you know, that's not what cannabis consumption is. I mean, can it be if that's your intention? You know, and that's actually fine. If that's your intention, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, we need to chill. So we all have coping mechanisms. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And in fact, and I feel like especially right now during the time of pandemic, I mean, look, we all know alcohol consumption is way up, especially with women.
Everybody became day drinkers.
You know, we know this, and it, you know, and again, I'm not bagging on that, you know.
No, it's
moderation. You know, there's no judgment because I believe.
Well, I think it's important to know. I think it's important to make a point of the fact that having no intention can be the intention. You can 100% go into. I'm talking about cannabis. I'm talking about mushrooms. I'm talking about any holistic plant medicine that you're choosing to consume. You can go into it with the intention of, I'm going to let go of the steering wheel and I'm going to have no intention. That is also an intention, but it's a conscious effort to do that. But if you consume cannabis or anything else with the intention of self-discovery, or with the intention of being creative, or with the intention of working out, or with the intention of, you know, going deeply introspective, whatever, or going to sleep, or whatever it is, but going into it with intention. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with going into it with the intention of not having an intention at all. You know, nobody's bagging on that.
And so with that said, me, you know, which is why I've been plastering myself on social media this last couple of years, you know, because the women, and again, I'm talking about women because I am a woman, but this applies to anyone who is new to cannabis, or who is just from that generation that just wants to kind of stay stuck. And there are people that want to stay stuck. They don't want to hear the facts. They don't care. For whatever reason, it makes them uncomfortable. And you know what, like I said, but I do want to normalize it for the people who are already consuming, because if you're consuming and you're hiding it and you feel bad about it, the benefits, I mean, you still will have some benefits, but you are not getting the full effect of what cannabis really can offer. And so, so for me, that's been my driving force in producing my products and continuing, and finally getting to the place after many years, you know, now weeks away of having my topicals out at a few different dispensaries, and really excited about all that. So
tell me about your products a little bit. For those that have never heard of High and Mighty products, first of all, I would like to take a moment to give my own testimony as to this product, because I personally reached out most of the time at NUGL Magazine, at NUGL Official. Most people reach out to us and they say, we'd like you to review our product, we'd like you to talk about our product, or whatever, you know, and we will, and I'll give an honest, you know, effort towards checking that product out. This is a product, however, I met Lisa at the LBCA meeting, and she had some stuff in the kitchen. We got talking about her product in the kitchen. At the time, I was about to drive. I don't consume cannabis and then drive, so they were smoking some pre-rolls there. I gotta say, my first impression of that was like, it's so beautifully packaged. I'm such a marketing girl 101 right here, and I am such a sucker for packaging. I was like, it's so pretty, and it smells so good. Not only the pre-rolls, but the balms, everything smells so good. So I took the pre-roll pack home with me. My mom had just had knee surgery, and so at the time I had not had my knee injury yet. My mom had knee surgery. I gave her a couple of different samples that I had. She was using the products, loved the balms, and what's really funny is, at 62 years old, my mom decided, she's gonna smoke some joints.
Nice.
I know.
I love that. I love that.
I know. So she's like, okay, I'm gonna tell a little story because it's too cute. It's too freaking cute. So, a couple years ago, my mom does not drink. My mom does not do anything. She is leave it to Beaver mother, right?
Okay.
A couple years ago for Christmas or for her birthday, we're like, Mom, what do you want for her birthday? And she goes, well, I'm thinking that I'd like to smoke some joints. And we were like, huh. My sister goes, Jess, she's kidding. She's kidding. She's, joking. And I was like, oh, I totally thought she was serious. Stupid me. So her birthday comes and goes, and she didn't get any joints. And she was, oh, thank you for her gifts, right? Christmas comes. Okay. And she goes, I've been thinking about it, and I'd like some joints. And again, nobody believed her because she's so innocent. We were like, we thought she was being silly. She took matters into her own hands. Her and my stepdad went and they got their licenses. They walked in, and I kid you not, my stepdad says to me, you should have seen your mom. She walked into the dispensary. She took her ID card with both hands. She goes, hello, my name is Nina. I have my license, and I would like some joints, please.
I love that.
And I was like, that is so cute. So I knew that it had been some years back. So I got the pack of pre-rolls from you, and I was at my mom's house, and I have them in my purse, and I go, Mom, would you possibly, I don't know if you've still smoked since then, but I was like, would you want a joint? And she was like, yes, I would like one. And so she set a night aside, and her husband had some wine, and they smoked a joint. They called me the next day to give me a review because they were so pleased. And I was like, it's just amazing. So that being said, I smoked one of your joints, and your pre-rolls are so damn, hands down, I am going to say this one, hands down, my favorite pre-roll I've ever smoked.
Thank you.
By far.
Thank you.
Now let's talk about your balms, because I used your balms and I am in love with the balms. The lemon pepper is amazing. I cannot say enough about your balms. It helped my knee pain. It helped my neck pain. It's helped my migraines. I had an accident a couple of years ago. I have some neck pain that comes and goes. It's helped my migraines. It helped my neck pain. Not only that, I had a bunch of bites when I was in Washington, and I was covered. And it looked terrible. It looked like I was getting body acne or something. It was gross. And then I put dots on all over. The swelling on the bites went down. The next morning they were already healing. The itching stopped. So I started slathering it on, and I found out that you can use all of your ingredients as natural bug repellents instead of citronella, because my dogs, dogs can't have citronella. It's poisonous to them, or DEET. So I was like, I can't use DEET. I can't use citronella. Lo and behold, I looked at your packaging, it has all of the ingredients that it says online is safe for dogs. I started putting that all over the place. I'm taking the rest of it in my hands. I'm putting it on their fur. All the swelling went down. The itching went away. And I was like, okay, I'm contacting Lisa. Lisa!
I'm so happy.
You're doing a 420 with me.
That makes me really happy. And I created the balm because of reading about, listen, again, there's room for all of us, and I love my products, but cannabis has been around for a long time. So I'm like, wait a minute here. I want to use some natural stuff. And so I just researched different essential oils that would, be useful for a lot of different things. So exactly what you just said. My original balm is the eucalyptus one. I'll show you that one. That one was the very first one I made, the eucalyptus one. Again, because I started with my back pain and my just working out, and I would use it at night. And I felt like the eucalyptus, the peppermint, the lavender, all that really helped me. The tea tree helped me sleep better, relax my muscles. And then I was experimenting with the lemongrass and black pepper balm, which is what I use in the morning. The lemongrass, the terpenes are uplifting. I feel like it kind of would wake me up. Black pepper extract has been known to be really beneficial for joint pain. So it just would help me kind of wake up my joints in the morning pre-workout. yeah, and then was just great for my skin. Just felt good
Yeah.
for my skin. I have hypothyroidism, so I have an underactive thyroid, which creates really, so on top of aging, on top of being in the California sun, then having this condition, so my skin was turning into a lizard. And so again, I really truly love the plant so much. Everything about it, I just dove in. And so I wanted to create packaging that was going to feel good for a woman.
Yeah.
I'm talking about women specifically and mothers specifically because I wanted, I didn't want to create something that looked too medical. First of all, I'm not claiming to be some sort of doctor. I'm not. I'm saying this is what works for me. This is what helps me. And I just feel like, again, at a time that opioid addiction is up, alcohol consumption is up, mental health, depression, all that. And our healthcare system is definitely failing us in prevention.
Yeah.
I felt like, for me, it was time to be a voice, to be a voice if I can help someone. So, yeah, so I wanted to create products and, going back to just the pre-rolls real quick, I definitely wanted to create products that felt good for a woman, that a woman would feel comfortable with at first. And the topicals definitely was an entry level for someone who is not comfortable with cannabis. This is something that I'm not afraid of this.
Exactly.
Most people are not afraid of this, And a lot of times that's really what it was to just start the conversation and get comfortable. And
when something looks like it's going to knock you on your ass, it's like it makes you really wary just to try it the very first time,
Yeah.
It's terrifying to try something you're
Yeah, or if even something looked too medical, then people, again, if you're not comfortable with asking questions specific about cannabis, we went from, I'm just saying, we went from the trap shops, the dark looking shops, to now these dispensaries that look like Apple stores. So I feel like either one can be a little intimidating.
Yeah, especially, also whenever anything has a medical look and feel to it, I don't use it daily. I use it when I have to. Opposed to something like your product that feels comfortable to use daily. You know what I mean? And it's not scary to use daily. There's nothing in the back of my mind going, am I only supposed to use this like as needed when necessary?
Well, and listen, next time I see you, I have to give you my body butter. That's going to be coming out next. That's actually, I don't know if you can see it. I have it on my skin. That's something I use daily. So the balm I created for specific areas of pain, my joints, but then realized, I use it on my head for my headaches. Use it on my stomach and my back, for menstrual cramps. Definitely put it behind your ears or on your chest at night to help sleep. I'm always moving at 100 miles an hour if I'm cooking in the kitchen, and I'll burn myself a little bit. And like I was talking to earlier, with common sense, you have some gaping huge wound, go to a damn doctor. But, minor scrapes, skin irritations, bug bites, I'd say it really can be used for so many things.
You know what? I burned literally both of my fingers in the same spot while I was doing these spiral curls earlier today. And I was like, and they still burn. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put some on as soon as we're off. I'm going to go put some on my hands.
Dip your fingers.
I'm like, you just said it. You burned yourself and you used it. So I'm going to try it.
Yeah. So
let me ask you about your opinion about mental wellness for mothers, because I think that that's something that is really important to talk about. I think that when we were saying earlier, self-care is mental wellness. Mental wellness isn't just hoping you have a good day today and hoping you wake up in a good mood and hoping your hormones are leveled. It's taking action to prevent, bad feelings and to help yourself intentionally help yourself out wherever you can when you are having negative feelings. So let's talk about mental wellness just a little bit, because especially I mentioned something to you over the phone, and although neither one of us has experience in this place, but I know I would never name names, but I know many women who have dealt with postpartum depression with cannabis and with CBD. with both THC and CBD, you know, but there's a stigma behind using it as if you're a bad mom if you do.
Yeah.
And being a good mother is taking care of yourself so that you can take care of your baby.
Yes. I have an expression. So, you know, my social media, which again, I was not someone that was into social media before, but now I feel like, again, it's a voice for me. Exactly. It's more about, I don't necessarily talk about my products so much. It's more about mental balance, mental health. And as a mother, yes, there's definitely stigma around cannabis consumption. There's no doubt, which is why I'm very deliberate in my daily posting, and it's about mental health. It doesn't just happen on accident. And look, again, I don't want to even get into people who, I do not suffer from chronic depression, okay?
Right.
I do think, you know, that can be different, but I do believe that we can make efforts daily, just like you were saying, to help elevate our mental state. And
Yes.
that there are resources that we can use daily, and it becomes a habit. So for me, cannabis and exercise has really been the two main resources that I have used as a mother in maintaining mental health. A lot of times, I was telling you, you know, I had a C-section, so not only did cannabis help me physically with the pain, but you can't separate the mind from the body. So physical pain, you get depressed, and then you know, you're not getting sleep. You know, you're doubting yourself. You know, that really can just fuck with you. Sorry, but
no,
really
it's true. Absolutely, say it. Without
with your head.
Yeah.
You know? And we all want to walk around like we got our shit together. Everybody's got their shit together. I'm saying, you know, I didn't always have my shit together. You know, I on a daily basis, I don't always have my shit together, you know, but I make it a habit to practice and use resources that I know will help elevate me. And it's cannabis, it's exercise, it's music, it's all those things. We can utilize those things to help elevate us. But yes, cannabis specifically, I feel like it helped me, again, I always bring it back to this, but what I feel like it did and does, it helped me be present.
Yes.
And I think a lot of times as mothers, we can get caught up in whatever's going on, and then we start having all this, you know, anxiety, and, you know, maybe I should have done this, or what if I did that, or blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh my God, or why am I here, or what? Yeah, I mean, we beat ourselves up, and we
You're
all
responsible for an entire other life. You're responsible. You're personally responsible, especially for a certain amount of years, for the well-being of that child. And if that's not going to cause anxiety and depression and all kinds of slews of feelings, I don't know what would, you know?
Girl, my son is almost 17 and I still have anxiety. So yeah, it doesn't stop. But
I shouldn't have let them eat chips, damn it.
Yeah, but what it does is it puts it into perspective. I think that's, you know, it helps put it all into perspective. So what I was saying is my one of my favorite expressions is something we've all heard on an airplane. If you're traveling with a young kid, you better put your fucking oxygen mask on first.
Yes.
Okay? You put yours on first before you try to help anyone else. It is, to me, you know, hearing that every time I'm on a flight, I'm like, holy shit, they don't even realize how profound what they're saying is. You know, you cannot be a good anything unless you are able to breathe.
That reminds me, it's like it's the opposite side. It's sort of the yin to this other phrase that I like a lot, which is don't set yourself on fire to keep other people warm.
Yeah.
You know, because if you're all burned up, you're no good to help to anybody. Maybe you served a purpose in that moment, but after that, you're useless to anybody because you're all used up. You know, you've put yourself out on the limb to the extent that you have no more left to give, and the person that you sent on their way can't even look to you for help anymore because you're not in a good mental or physical state. So if you have to set yourself on fire to keep somebody else warm, don't do it. You know, take care of yourself first. Put your mask on first before helping anybody, so you can continue to serve other people if that's what you want to do.
100%. It doesn't work. So again, that for me, that has really been the driving force in daily, you know, talking to people, just reminding people. And look, it reminds me even, you know, we all have bad days, but those two voices, I feel like the second I, every morning starts off with coffee and cannabis for me. It's coffee, cannabis, music, and I want to, because it elevates me. And it reminds me, it stops that other way. Because look, I'm going to get up anyway. You're going to get up and do that. So, I mean, pre-pandemic, and kids are going to be going back to school. It's like, you got up and you took your kids to school anyway, or you got up and you went to work, even if you don't have kids, whatever it is. You're getting up and you're doing that shit anyway, okay? Well, you know what? I'd rather be in a better place. So I microdose cannabis, I exercise, and and that's paying myself first. So I don't care if it's 30 minutes in the morning, I do it. And again, you don't have to, you know, exercise at the level that I'm doing it. I'm not saying that, but I've taken it to another level because that's what works for me. But some motion, I don't care if it's dancing, something. It's a mind-body connection that I really believe, for me, it works for me. And I want to just put it out there as, hey, try it. It can help. Try it. You know, this is our one and only life. Like I said, you're here once, you know? You're here once. So you got to do what works for you and own it. When you own it, that's when you feel better. It's when you feel uncomfortable or unsure. It's like, fuck that shit. Make a decision. Guilt is a waste of time. That's just your ego trying to convince yourself you're a better person. You either do it or you don't. And if you do it, own it and be authentic.
I love you.
Thank you. You know,
Can we be friends?
we are friends. I hope to see you again. So actually, this was saying, when I see you next time, I'm going to give you my body butter. I think you're going to be addicted to it. Because that's something I use daily for moisturizing, and it's invigorating out of the shower, feels so good. So I'll make sure to give you some.
Can you tell us your daily routine, like your actual daily routine? What do you take supplements also? Like, how long do you work out? Like, what is your workout routine? Do you do dance, or do you do some kind of like a Zumba or weightlifting, or what exactly, along with cannabis, what is your entire routine for, like, daily?
So I have, I'm an early person. I do believe in that. I think there's something with getting up early. So I just naturally rise early, get up. And yeah, my very first thing that I do is come sit outside and have coffee and cannabis and listen to music. That is literally the very first thing I do. And it's something I've been doing for over a decade. And even when my son was little, I'm just, again, going back to being a mother. If I knew he was going to get up at 6 a.m., my ass was outside at 5:30 enjoying my coffee in peace. Because that 30 minutes getting up earlier actually was more beneficial to me to collect myself mentally, and I just was in a better place. So that's the first thing I do every day. And then, yes, I definitely take supplements, you know, calcium and magnesium and vitamin D and all that. And I work out 3 to 4 days a week. That's a exercise routine. I have a fantastic group of women that I work out with. My best friend is actually a personal trainer, but we meet 3 to 4 days a week. First thing in the morning, we just bang that shit out in 45 minutes to an hour.
What kind of workout do you do? Do you do like circuit training, or do you do like a dance thing, or what do you do?
It's circuit training. I mean, we've done it all. You should definitely check out my friend at Gabriella McLean. Check out her website. It's fantastic. She's an amazing, also a mother, and just an incredibly strong woman. And we have built up a group of women, and so we feed off of each other for sure. But it's an intense training. So we've done some, you know, cardio stuff, but more recently we've been focusing on circuit training, weights for sure. Women, I will say this, as much as we don't want to hear this, the cardio is great. And I'm not a trainer. I am not a trainer or claiming to be, but I'm someone that exercises a lot, and I'm getting older myself. And so we need weights. You need weights. Cardio is fantastic, but you definitely need weights. We are losing muscle mass and bone density every year. And I think that, and you want to be strong for life as a mother. Shit, I was just at the grocery store today lifting a freaking huge case of water. And as mothers, we're all doing this stuff. So I feel like make you stronger for life. So that's that's my 3 to 4 days a week. And then, yeah, I'm at my manufacturing facility being busy, very busy this last few months with production of my products, and always end my evenings the same way. I will tell you that. So I'm all about hustling and bustling. I don't watch, I know people don't want to hear this, but I don't watch TV.
Yeah. I barely watch TV.
I can say that I maybe have watched an hour or two of TV in the last 3 to 4 months. I don't watch TV. I'd rather be busy living my life than watching other people live theirs. That's just how I feel. And maybe because I grew up in blizzard conditions in Chicago my whole life. So I just want to be outside and be active. And cannabis makes me feel that way. So my downtime is still kind of active. I like, come home after a long day at work. I eat healthy. I don't eat fast food, but I don't deprive myself. If, I'm going to go out, I'm going to eat a fucking cookie if I want a cookie. I'm going to have it, but I don't overindulge in anything. And I think that's key. And I end my evenings every single night with a big glass of Perrier and a joint and some music outside by myself. I think having quality time alone is really important.
I think you've really mastered, it really sounds like you've mastered how to end cap your days. You know what I mean? Just start it off right and end it right and keep active and healthy in between. And man, kudos to you, because if anybody is out there doing it right and setting an example for not only what a woman can be, but what a cannabis smoker can be and what it means to be a cannabis consumer and a businesswoman and a mother. Shit, if anybody's setting that example, it's you, girl. So you are crushing it. Congratulations on all that you have become and all that you've created yourself to be. Yeah.
Thank you. But I do want to just say, again, it's all about, I have my shitty days. I have my down days. Trust me, there is not a single day that goes by that I don't want to slap the shit out of somebody. But that, okay? It's the truth. It's the truth.
Reach out.
That's what cannabis offers me. My nice voice. Because we all have those voices in our head. We spend, the majority of our life is happening up here. It really is. Okay? Because we're talking to ourselves constantly on autopilot, whether you realize it or not.
Yeah.
And so cannabis, exercising, all those, I have made those habits, those routines habit, so that it just helps that nice Lisa come out. That nice Lisa. So even if something shitty happened during the day, by the end of the day when I'm having that joint and I'm sitting down here with my music, I'm saying, you know what? It's all good, girl. Because it all ends the same. We are all exiting at some point. So be in the now, forgive yourself, love yourself, and it's all good. That's just all.
Preach on. Preach on, girl. Okay, let me see some of your line. Show us what you've got going on. So you have your balms. You have your 2 different balms.
I have.
So go ahead and hold up anything you got.
I've got my eucalyptus balm and my lemon pepper balm. That's what I have out here right now.
Amazing products. Please try them.
Yes. Oh, and both of these. So let me just show you really quick. This right here is a sample pack of both balms. So I'm excited. That way people will be able to, if they don't want to, and I get it. People want to try a product first. Yeah. So if they don't want to, go out and buy a, big 2-ounce jar of the cannabis balm, this is a perfect size. There's a 7, it's a total of 14 milliliters. So it's a sample of each one, the lemon pepper and the eucalyptus, right here in this perfectly little bag. And
definitely try both, because I do feel like you nailed it, where you have a different implication for each one. One is great for the morning. One is definitely better for the evening. I mean, you could switch them if you need a little bit more relaxation or a little bit more boost at night. But I think you nailed it with just the 2 aroma scents flavors.
And I will say this too, the lemon pepper also for those, and there are people out there that I feel like it has slightly less of a cannabis smell. And for some people, that matters. And so I wanted to acknowledge that as well. Besides the fact that I love lemons. I love lemongrass. I love that smell. So yeah, I've got that. Again, I've got my pre-rolls, and they are infused pre-rolls. So
what are they infused with? And then what is the blend? The pre-roll blend? Is it sativa indica blend, or is
it's a hybrid? It's a hybrid blend of a couple different strains. So I will source, you know, flower from farmers, and it is a hybrid mix of 2 different strains. And
why
may not always
smell so good?
It smells so good. Well,
they
so we also are both producers of distillate. That's what we do at Greenpoint Holdings, and so I don't know if you can see this really well or not, but they are.
Oh yeah.
They are covered in distillate and rolled in keef, which again packs a nice little punch. And again, it's small enough, fit in your purse, your makeup bag.
Yeah.
Pretty to look at. So yeah,
also though, this package, even if because at one point I had like half of one, like my cousin and I smoked like 1.5, and then like I saved a little bit like left. And the packaging is actually really nice, just to like keep it in there, and it doesn't like make your purse smell like weed.
Thank you. Yes. And also, and I've already had people tell me that they want to keep, they love the box.
You know? I saved my box.
Keeping the box to put stuff in.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really proud of it. I love that, you know, I hired a artist to do this because it was really important for me to present something that, like I said, was going to make women comfortable. My butter, you know, check out my website or, you know, my Instagram handle at High and Mighty Life, because, you know, you should be living your high and mighty life. It's your only one. But you can see my other products that will be coming out in the future, which is, again, I have, you know, High and Mighty has a body butter, a body oil, a face serum, a lip balm, but in time.
And where can we buy all of your products?
So I will be at Long Beach Green Room, Chronic Pain Relief, Flight on Cherry. Those are just a few dispensaries to start with. Some in Santa Ana, and I will absolutely make sure to keep everyone aware of exactly where I'll be, and it will be in the next week or 2 at the most. So we've come a long way. High and Mighty, Greenpoint Holdings, shout out to them. Again, everyone, the team there has been my ground, especially for, you know, cannabis compliance, for sure. So thank you for saying all those wonderful things about me, but, you know, it takes a team. So I recognize that, and I'm so proud to have everyone there with us. We're
and
grateful.
Shout out to the LBCA as well.
Yes,
shout out to the LBCA as well for.
And we'll be having another LBCA meeting at my house.
Oh yay! Awesome. Do you want to go ahead and, or actually, when we get off the line, do me a favor and immediately message me with all of the dispensaries that you would like me to tag in this video. And then I will be posting this video, guys. If you missed any part of this video and you want to watch it in its completion, along with a future article that will be coming up about High and Mighty, check out NUGL.com or NUGLmagazine.com, and I'll go ahead and tag High and Mighty's page and all of the links and all of the dispensaries where you can buy her product. Lisa, it was so good having you. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, you're welcome, Jessica.
I really look forward to doing the article together as well.
Yeah, hopefully I see you soon. We got to connect.
Absolutely, absolutely. And to all of you out there in NUGL land, thank you so much for joining us. And I will see you all next Friday and every Friday right here on NUGL Official. Ciao, everybody. Mwah.
Bye.
And happy 420.